With Ehlers off the board, MJ, perhaps we could look ahead to some of the contract extensions that can now be offered by NHL teams. Names like Jack Eichel, Kaprizov in Minnesota, Kyle Connor in Winnipeg, Artemi Panarin in New York. Of course, Connor McDavid would fall into that camp as well. How soon, if at all, are you expecting some of those decisions to come down? And what's the number you think that would surprise us the most with any of those guys?
I mean, I would imagine if you're any of those clubs, and you just mentioned some of the most important players, and every one of their teams would be desperate to extend those guys. Desperate. Not optimistic, not hopeful. Desperate. And I think the one that might surprise us is Kaprizov in Minnesota. Because before he was hurt last year, he was playing at an MVP level. There is no player, maybe not even Connor McDavid, who means more to his team offensively than Kaprizov does, right? Like, you know, he's got Boldy there, but he doesn't have Draisaitl there. And Minnesota has been in cap purgatory because of the buyouts of Parise and Suter, which are finally over. So they have all this extra money with the cap going up. And Minnesota is a great, passionate hockey market, but maybe not the biggest bustling metropolis if you wanted that kind of thing, like a Panarin when he left Columbus for New York. And if Kaprizov wanted a New York, a Toronto, a South Florida, an LA, he could get a ton of money there. So I almost think there might be a bit of Minnesota tax on top of his contract. It wouldn't surprise me if he becomes, when he signs the highest paid player in the league, and maybe even by a bit of a margin over top of Draisaitl. Until McDavid signs his extension, it would not surprise me if he pushes 15 or more for Kaprizov when he gets his deal done for all the reasons I just sort of outlined.
That's an interesting one, MJ. Now, AK and I were having this conversation yesterday about McDavid. Like, obviously, it makes a lot of sense to take an 8-year deal for security and for any number of reasons to help lower your AAV and be a good teammate. But if you were being cutthroat like an NBA guy, you know, we're talking about you running the Raptors. If you're running Connor McDavid's career with an NBA lens, and you say you're the LeBron of this league, you should take a shorter term deal. A, because you can get a really good deal, and B, you can keep pressure on management to make sure they build the roster around you that you need to win your cup. Is there anything to that in your mind?
For sure. And I the NBA example is, I guess, an obvious one. And, the NBA players are more willing to go short term, more willing to switch teams. If I'm Connor McDavid and you want to go down that road, and it makes a lot of sense because the money's there's not as much risk other than, catastrophic injury for him to not be the best player in 2 years, right? It's not like he's coming off a hot year and you're like, oh, you got to get it now because what if you don't score 100 points? Like, He's going to, no matter what. Draisaitl is going to be there. He's going to. If I'm his representative, could you walk in and say, all right, we'll give you an extension, 2 years, $32 million.
Right.
That's what you get. Cap's going up. Percentage of cap is still a very manageable and appropriate number. And we're going to put it on you for 2 more years to make sure he's got a great team around him. And we're being fair, and he produces every year. He brings it every year. He's the best player every year. You got to bring it in the offseason. You got to put together a team. That is your job as management, to put together a team that is capable of winning a Stanley Cup and all the pieces without my guy taking a massive discount. That's not his responsibility. It's your responsibility to figure it out around him. 2 years. I'm going to give you then, that would be what? 3-year entry-level deal, 8-year extension, 2-year extension. That's 13 years of his career he's going to give you. That's more than enough time and plenty of loyalty from him. 2 years, 32. Make it happen. If we're good, you get to have him for 7 years after that.
Yeah. I love it, MJ. Makes a lot of sense to me.
That's a man that could be a president of an organization.
That should be an agent. I love that. I love that pitch.
That was a very good pitch. Mike, great stuff.
The best part about it, guys, though, is Edmonton can't say anything about it. What's Edmonton going to say? No?
No,
they can't say no. We prefer you go longer. We prefer you to have less money.
McDavid calls the shots.
You can prefer to watch me walk next summer.
Yeah.
You're basically beholden to his good graces to not do anything you don't want him to do, because if he wanted to, you're going to do it anyways.